you go bankrupt. And there's a penalty for bankruptcy. Your credit sucks. You're very difficult to get a loan. Very, very difficult for people to trust you again. You have to earn that trust back. And even then, it's always going to be a stain in your record.
Absolutely, he needs money. Once again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
Yeah, he's stupid. He's an idiot. He loves the fame and he loves the money. So ultimately, if you're just that money hungry and that fame hungry, you're gonna just do whatever. You don't care what it is.
Joe Rogan tore into Jake Paul, arguing that lawsuits and fixed fight accusations have permanently damaged his boxing image. Critics say Paul's flashy record now feels empty, built on selective matchmaking, hype, and optics rather than legitimacy. Even if legal issues disappear, the doubt won't. In combat sports, credibility is currency. Once fans question authenticity, victories lose meaning, records fade into footnotes, and legacies shrink, leaving a stain that lasts longer than any paycheck.
Because there's a price that you pay that is not.
The hype around fake fight accusations exploded after Jake Paul's bout with Anthony Joshua, as fans pointed to strange patterns throughout the event. Many questioned how Paul lasted longer against Joshua than Francis Ngannou did. Despite a massive gap in experience and power, what was marketed as a blockbuster clash between a social media star and a former unified heavyweight champion instead ignited rampant speculation. Fueled by leaked training clips, unusual betting movement, and outspoken commentators, who argued the spectacle felt closer to showbiz and sport, for critics demanding transparency and accountability across boxing.
From Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, what have we got here?
As I look at it, for the fans, it put boxing still on the map because it keeps boxing relevant. Having exhibition fights like this, different celebrities and different things like that. I look at it as a fun thing for fans and stuff like that. I don't really take it seriously, because we in the business of boxing. That right there is just exhibition stuff. But I'm hearing they say it's a real fight. But yeah, it's a real fight because both guys are getting in a fight. I'm still the one that be thinking certain things are scripted as well too. So, but we'll see. I always say may the best man win, and main thing about it, may those guys go in there and have a hell of a lot.
Many commentators have called the matchup absurd, pointing to the massive gap in experience, size, and pedigree between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. A YouTuber turned boxer with a 12-1 record stepping in against a former two-time heavyweight world champion who has faced elite opposition throughout his career struck many as unrealistic. Critics labeled the bout lopsided, with Paul viewed by some as a cash-grab opponent rather than a legitimate challenge, further fueling speculation that the event leaned more towards spectacle and entertainment than true competitive sport.
Jake Paul, fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the Dubois knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on, and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
Simon Jordan poured even more fuel on the controversy by claiming Anthony Joshua could have knocked out Jake Paul whenever he wanted, but chose not to. Jordan argued the fight was intentionally extended to meet Netflix's expectations rather than boxing's competitive standards. According to him, Joshua's power, experience, and timing were worlds apart from Paul's, making an early stoppage inevitable if he truly pressed the action. A quick finish, Jordan suggested, would have damaged the spectacle and streaming numbers. Instead, the bout allegedly needed rounds, suspense, and manufactured drama to justify the massive platform and global audience, while Jordan provided no concrete evidence. His remarks echoed what many fans already suspect, that when huge money and streaming giants like Netflix are involved, entertainment can quietly outweigh sporting reality, leaving viewers questioning how genuine the contest really was.
Paul posted on Twitter after the fight, jaw broken, heart and balls intact. That's a good thing. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. I mean, he's coming out of it as if, well, yeah, I got battered in the end, but boy.
That's what he will do. I mean, it depends what you think this was. I mean, I never felt it was anything other than entertainment. I'm not surprised that Anthony Joshua could have knocked Jake Paul out anytime he wanted to. He didn't want to.
So why didn't he?
Because when you're on a platform like Netflix that turns one-part episodes into a 6-part series, why would you think that part of their entertainment model is to have a 30-second fight? Why? You watch a Netflix series, you can watch it and you can go, well, I get the gist of it. Why have you got to turn it into 10 episodes? Because I'm dying with boredom after episode.
Are you telling me that Netflix probably emphasised, listen guys, take this as long as you can?
Anthony Joshua didn't step, irrespective. I sat to all these guys, whether it be Spencer or Paul Smith, talking about the fact that Jake Paul couldn't run, didn't have the footwork to be able to move.
After the fight, Ryan Garcia sparked fresh debate with a blunt and provocative reaction on social media that quickly gained traction across the boxing world. While Garcia acknowledged Jake Paul's effort, he drew a sharp comparison involving Gervonta Davis, another elite-level fighter. Garcia tweeted, "I think Gervonta would have done him worse," implying Davis would have punished Paul more severely or ended the bout faster than Anthony Joshua did. Many analysts agreed with Garcia's assessment, arguing the contest failed to represent elite boxing standards. Even in the aftermath, criticism continues to surround the matchup, with observers insisting the Anthony Joshua Jake Paul fight was misguided from the start and should never have been sanctioned.
Fair play to Jake Paul. He has a lot of guts, and the fact that he wasn't carried out of this fight on a stretcher, certainly I guess you could say is a positive. But what did I think about this? What did I think about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul? Look, it felt like Anthony Joshua carried him. It felt like Jake Paul brought in as much of a negative anti-style as possible, circling away, constantly holding Joshua, constantly falling to the ground. Again, while you're certainly going to give respect for the YouTube star turned fighter for having the guts to put on this type of show and to stand in there for as long as he did until a clean right hand in the corner when Paul was absolutely exhausted, dropped him and ended the fight. This is not elite boxing, and we knew that coming in, but if these fights are going to be sanctioned as official fights, like the Mike Tyson fight from last year,
Adding to the controversy, Oscar de la Hoya weighed in on Jake Paul's previous bout with Mike Tyson, suggesting the fight was fixed. He claimed Paul paid Tyson to secure a win on his record, pointing out that many analysts noticed Tyson holding back and failing to fight with the intensity expected in a professional contest. De La Hoya stressed this was not an isolated case, instead implying a troubling pattern of staged outcomes throughout Paul's boxing career.
This fight was. I do believe it was scripted, and I believe that Tyson was certainly held back. Look, I'm a fighter, and I can see it. It goes on the record, and it was sanctioned. So Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record?
Bruh.
For what? For your own personal satisfaction?
Bruh.
I keep telling you, if you want to be a real fighter, like you say you want to be, what are you doing?
While Mike Tyson has denied claims that the fight was scripted, his performance disappointed many fans and raised questions about whether it should count on his official record. For a fighter of Tyson's stature, the lack of aggression was hard to ignore, leaving a lingering cloud of doubt over the bout's legitimacy.
Recently broke some news about how he spoke to one of the Paul brothers and that they had an agreement that no one was supposed to get severely injured and that the fight had to last at least through the 6th round. As I was watching the fight, I'm like, damn, it looked like Mike came out a little hot, and I saw him do this one thing where he kept biting his gloves. I know there was a big age discrepancy here, right? Jake Paul being 27, Mike Tyson being 58, of course. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, is he biting onto his glove to hold back? Because it looked like he had something there. Even some of the jabs Mike threw, I'm like, he stopped his punch. I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist here, but thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know if Mike completely exerted himself or he just got really tired.
I don't know about it being rigged or not, but I do feel bad for people who really are invested in the sport.
You want to know why I also think it might be a bit rigged? When the fight ended, Jake Paul kept calling out other fighters, and he kept referencing, you guys need me, you guys need me. And I'm realizing he's meaning his money. So if boxers and people in the industry know that, hey, if we go get with Jake Paul, we'll make...
During the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, critics pointed to unusual rules that appeared to favor Paul. One alleged clause reportedly penalized Tyson financially for an early knockout, raising serious concerns that contractual conditions, rather than pure competition, may have influenced the fight's outcome.
Y'all already know I'm mad about this fight. I really wasn't even going to talk about it because I already felt like it was a setup. But when Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, it really just confirmed and solidified everything. So, Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, and I'm going to read it to social media. So, it says the rules for the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight are designed to favor Jake Paul. These include: the rules are extremely favorable to Jake Paul. The contract will incentivize Mike Tyson to lose and give Jake Paul an opportunity to choose himself as a winner. The first stipulation in the contract will punish Tyson for knocking out Jake because he is paid on a sliding scale per round. If Tyson knocks Jake out in the first round, he would receive no money. If he knocks him out in the second round, he would only make a small amount of cash. For Tyson to make the most money, he needs to survive all 8 rounds, which means avoiding knocking Jake Paul out. If the fight goes to a split decision, it favors Jake Paul because the judges have to be approved by Jake Paul. I'm gonna let y'all read it. I knew it was a setup. Because you know what? Mike Tyson had a lot of open air opportunity to smash Jake Paul. And he didn't do it.
David Hay offers perspective, suggesting that Jake Paul might be underestimating the challenge of facing a truly elite fighter. Hay noted that Paul may be relying on his past experiences with allegedly scripted bouts, giving him a false sense of confidence against Anthony Joshua. However, Joshua has reportedly rejected any stage arrangements, insisting the fight be a genuine contest. Hay emphasized that this reality presents a major challenge for Paul, as he must now face a legitimate, highly skilled opponent rather than someone willing to accommodate him for financial gain or publicity.
You're going to go into this fight with Jake Paul with the same mindset after seeing him fight beat on points a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. My opinion is no. I think he feels zero fear in this fight. He's in a unique situation where he's going into a boxing ring with someone he doesn't believe deserves to be there. So is he going to be paying the price in training? Is he going to be getting those early nights? Is he going to be pushing himself and sparring to get the very best out of himself, like he did for the Ngannou fight? Unknown. I don't know. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll want to risk having any hard sparring just in case he gets injured. Because if he gets injured, he misses this $75 million payday against someone he doesn't believe will be good enough to be a legitimate sparring partner for him. You know what I mean? So it's a very unusual situation, very, very unusual. And, you know, obviously all the advantages are in Anthony Joshua's favor, except this one, except the mindset factor. Jake Paul has nothing to lose. He's got everything to gain. Him reaching round 3, round 4 is a, in my opinion, and in many people's opinion, if Anthony Joshua doesn't detonate his right hand or a jab off of Jake Paul in the first 30 seconds, minute, and put him in problems, you know, some people would feel that he's underachieved or he let boxing down. You know, people don't consider Jake Paul a real boxer because he's got such a big profile on social media and he's got that background that he's come from. But he's dedicated himself to the sport.
Fighting analyst Chael Sonnen delivers a brutally honest assessment of Jake Paul's bouts, leaving no room for sugarcoating. He stresses that when comparing Paul to Anthony Joshua, there's simply no contest. Despite the numerous training clips circulating online, Paul still comes across more as a student than a serious contender. Sonnen highlights that the footage only exposes his inexperience, showing someone still grappling with fundamentals rather than preparing to face a seasoned former heavyweight champion. According to him, the gap in skill, power, and ring awareness is undeniable, making it clear that Jake is nowhere near ready to compete with a fighter of Joshua's elite caliber.
Because people do this all the time. They'll be real dicks about it. Some guy will look great on the mitts. Well, mitts doesn't count. It's like, well, it kind of does count. If I have you working out on the mitts from a year ago, and I have a new tape today, and I can juxtapose those. I actually can see some timing. I actually can see some speed. I actually can see some footwork. I can see some power, and I can compare it. Now, Jake is in a wildly difficult spot. Boxing is unlike, by example, track and field. Track and field is all about personal records. You do not need to be faster than the guy standing next to you. Right? Now you can win and you can get trophies on that, but it's not actually your goal that your coach is working on you with. You just today want to be faster, throw further, jump higher than a previous version of yourself. Boxing doesn't work that way. It is straight. It doesn't matter how good you are. It is 100% comparative to how good is this guy. I understand that. But as human beings, we have to start somewhere. And I think there are many things that are going to be wins for Jake. I do not subscribe to the idea. Now he does. He will not agree with me. But an older version of himself, as he looks back, will see that Chael makes a very fair point. There's a number of things that are going to be wins or not for Jake. Now, Joshua's got one. Crush that man, get your hand raised. That's it. Well, I don't see it like that for Jake. I don't see it like that. And I know you guys don't either. I know you don't, because so many people that are predicting this fight won't even happen. Or that are predicting if this fight happens, these guys are going to be nice to each other. What does this word exhibition mean? Right? There's all these things where you're trying to take away, and you're not necessarily wrong. If Jake shows up for this fight,
Despite all the controversy surrounding the fight, significant money has been wagered on the Paul versus Joshua matchup, and the betting activity has itself become part of the ongoing debate. Fans, casual bettors, and even some high-profile personalities have been actively placing bets, intensify discussions about whether the event represents a legitimate sporting contest or is more of a spectacle. Amid this, Joe Rogan reacted to Jake Paul's knockout loss to Anthony Joshua by giving unexpected credit where it was due. Rogan highlighted that it was genuinely impressive for Paul to survive all 6 rounds against a proven heavyweight powerhouse like Joshua. He noted that many critics overlooked the massive disparities in experience, power, and ring IQ between a YouTuber-turned-boxer and a former world champion. While the knockout was inevitable, Rogan emphasized that lasting the full fight demonstrated real toughness, discipline, and conditioning, even if it couldn't bridge the clear skill gap.
That guy did great for someone who's been boxing for like less than a decade. He has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
I don't even remember what happened in this time.
He lost a close decision, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight, though. He's a good boxer. If he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
But
then he started too with like more spectacle-ish fights. People were like, "Oh, this is you." He fought, Nate Robinson, like a basketball player.
But the thing is, he knocked Nate Robinson
He knocked him
dead.
the fuck out.
And
yeah.
it's the way he did it that I was trying to tell people. I'm like, no. That was skillful. It's like there's like boxing matches where you see 2 guys just slugging it out, and one guy lands a punch, and yeah, he landed a good punch. What Jake did is he slid back and landed a punch.
Yeah.
It's like the athleticism along with the intelligence, the technique. I'm like, he's not even doing it that long. And he's also hyper competitive, even though he's wealthy.
Yeah.
Like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for
But
competition.
it hasn't,
He's also nuts, right? Just
Yeah.
the fact that he's willing to fight the 2-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist, a guy who's gigantic in his prime, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're gonna stand, and he's a 1-punch killer, and you're gonna stand in front of that guy, and he avoided shots till the 6th round. He just started getting tired.
Yeah, his movement in that fight was crazy.
It was very good.
Yeah,
it was very good.
He was really keeping him moving around the whole ring, and then
you can't afford to get tired.
That's
the thing is, like, he gets tired in a lot of his fights in the later rounds. You should really sort that out, because if he had a much bigger gas tank, like if he was training with like some of these elite world-class strength and conditioning coaches and just worked on his cardio, he'd be beating way more guys.
You think so?
Rogan acknowledged that Jake Paul displayed toughness in the fight, but cautioned that taking shots like the one that fractures jaw in 2 places can cause serious long-term damage, and isn't worth repeating. He emphasized that the physical and psychological toll in combat sports often outweighs money and fame, urging Paul to prioritize his future health over chasing bigger bouts. Rogan reminded him that repeated injuries come with a steep price, including potential brain issues and depression.
It with a bomb breaks his jaw in 2 places. The thing is, I would hope that he recognizes is right now he's doing great and he's only whatever he is, 28. There's a price that you pay that is not worth it, and that price is a severe brain imbalance that's going to lead you to addiction. That was real damage. The inside of your head. There's a lot of damage going on in there too. If he doesn't have your respect after that fight, that guy did great for someone who's been boxing for like less than a decade.
Do you think Jake Paul's fights are genuinely competitive or just hype and showbiz? Share your thoughts in the comments.